that's not enough pikes. He can actually afford to just run around and kill villagers left and right. That's exactly what he needs to do.
Someone in the chat saying Fat Slob. It's the Legend of Fat Slob.
ClassicPro in the north playing as Slavs in yellow, and on the left side we're gonna have GoldenEnd playing as Vikings in blue. Now they're kind of close to each other, so this is a little bit different from the previous map. Like I said, quite close to each other.
Yeah, one thing I like about Saltmarsh is there is a little bit of variety in the map. I'm actually a huge fan of this map since I've been watching it for this tournament. But yeah, there's a lot of different variations of Saltmarsh. All of them perfectly, perfectly reasonable as far as the maps go, compared at least to the old Saltmarsh anyway. But so you're not too familiar with the old Saltmarsh, are you? Since you're newer to the community.
Nope, I'm not familiar with the
old Saltmarsh in Age of Kings, Age of Conquerors was never seen because it basically was a whole different map with sometimes there would be fish, which would favor one player over another, so we never saw it. So this is one of the first tournaments that has actually featured the new and improved Saltmarsh, which came since the Forgotten Kingdoms.
Yeah, now what I'm actually looking at is the gold deposit of GoldenEnd over here. Not a great gold for him, it's kind of blocked by one side from the wood. That's not good for him. I think overall though, I think GoldenEnd is a decent base, I would say. The only issue is the primary stone completely exposed right next to the water. This is a horrible spot for it, but other than that, he mostly has safe resources, even though this primary gold is kind of unfavorable for him. On the other side, that's some beautiful back gold there from ClassicPro, I have to say, so... You can't really have a safer goal than that one.
What do you think for ClassicPro? Like a wall, scouts, and then like a faster castle build? I think would be a pretty solid build with the way he can wall his map.
I would like to see that. Because, well, with Vikings, well, all I can say is longboats. So... But in this situation, longboats could be kind of reasonable for him if I think it over. So mostly the lake is kind of huge, so not a large amount of land on the two sides of the lake. Like in the previous match, there was on the right side a lot of land where units could pass. But in this scenario, the land is kind of thin on both sides of the lake, so longboats could be kind of efficient. But the thing I really like to see that is that. The primary stone from GoldenEnd is right next to the water, so that could be so easily denied with a few ships.
Yeah, I don't think the Vikings probably want that stone too much.
Well, early on, that's absolutely true, but it would definitely be something.
ClassicPro, interestingly, with a lot of walls very early. These are very early walls. If he's going to place the barracks, it's going to be on the right side, I guess. But these walls, they're interesting.
Yeah, that's true. He's most likely going to wall his left side as well. That's not going to be a huge issue for him. So, might go for fast castle over here. Could imagine him going for that, to be honest. Go for fast castle knights.
I didn't want to say it. But if we don't see a barracks coming up sometime soon, and he doesn't have the wood for like a Dark Age rush, that could be the build.
Yeah, I can agree on that one. So,
oh my gosh!
On this side,
look at ClassicPro scouting.
ClassicPro scouting. Oh, that's kind of unfortunate for him. Oh boy, He just barely missed those houses, so if he was there, like, way earlier, then he could have found those.
To be fair, GoldenEnd scouting's not much better.
So, even if he's looking for his opponent, he won't find him anytime soon, because, well, I think he's just gonna move the other direction, because he couldn't find GoldenEnd on the left. But he was just barely missing him by a few tiles.
And, now, GoldenEnd's actually having a really hard time clicking up to the next stage if he wants to. It looks like so he's going up 22 pop, maybe men-at-arms, maybe straight archers. ClassicPro, unfortunately, is just going to go for probably a scout rush. So nothing fancy at all. Although it is a little bit early, just a scout rush with a lot of walls.
Yeah, GoldenEnd was actually able to find that barracks while being built, so looks like GoldenEnd going with Man-at-Arms? Feels like
Yeah.
What is this walls though from GoldenEnd? I mean, I'm not a huge fan of these walls by any means. Yeah, it's gonna secure the berries for him, but is this really the way to wall your base?
Those berries can be valuable, man. That's a lot of berries.
That's true, but oh boy, can he protect these walls?
He's going forward.
What is it? Yeah, he's going forward. What is he gonna? Is he gonna try to tower something? Now let's see. GoldenEnd scouting is horrible. I mean, look at the scouting of GoldenEnd. What is it? If he's trying to go for towers, could he go for towers?
Yeah, so that stable is in an extremely vulnerable position. It could get battered down by men-at-arms and villagers, especially if a tower's on it. So this would be a huge deal for ClassicPro. I think, yeah, as long as ClassicPro builds this tower in time, he should be able to wall this up and defend. Let's see.
Yeah, this is absolutely true. So, GoldenEnd doesn't really have any scouting on the base of ClassicPro, so he doesn't really have any idea where to place those towers.
Kind of interesting he decided to go for the strategy, but I don't think it's going to be successful. They should get walled out. In fact, one of these militia going to get very low.
That was some interesting house placement there by GoldenEnd as well. I was like, militias were trying to escape the arrow fire, but GoldenEnd just quick walled them, and they had to walk all the way around. This is looking like a disaster for GoldenEnd at this point. He's gonna have to bail out of this one very soon.
Well, he's going to try again on the left side, but there's still... If he could break through, then maybe he could deny that wood line. But that is... I don't like this decision from GoldenEnd. This was, as you said, this was a, I think, poor strategy choice. With so little scouting information.
Yeah, problem is that even if he towers the wood line over here for ClassicPro, he's just going to be able to fall back to the back of his base. There's a lot of wood there. Also, he needs to pierce through this palisade wall over here before he could do that. And eventually... Even if he gets through there, ClassicPro will be aware of that, and he's gonna be able to escape with his villagers. So, yeah, he's gonna invest a lot of villagers to this one. So, 5 villagers pushing forward. Looks like ClassicPro will try to second layer this one.
Yeah, and he's gonna be able to do that with the house. There's no tower there to prevent the quick walls. ClassicPro is looking for something to kill with the scouts. Not gonna find it because GoldenEnd has walled his base too, and GoldenEnd going to stone right now. Oh.
Yeah, he's committed to this tower push, but I don't think it's gonna work.
Do you think maybe an early Berserk play might be something on the cards for Castle Age?
Maybe, just maybe. I still feel like this is not a good investment for him. So, I always say that when you're going for towers, you really have to do damage with that. So, either deny a resource, either kill villagers, whatever works, but going towers early on is a huge investment. You invest your villagers to go for stone. You have kind of like an idle time in these villagers who are just building towers at the front lines, so your eco will get definitely behind them. Just look at this. GoldenEnd is investing 5 years to building these towers. Meanwhile, ClassicPro's eco is completely unharassed, and he's gonna have a huge lead from that one.
Well, on the other hand, GoldenEnd is gonna mine that gold in the front of ClassicPro's base. GoldenEnd? Who knows? Maybe he's gonna go for Castle and Berserks. I wouldn't agree with that decision. But it's certainly the best way maybe he could optimize this build right now. ClassicPro will be up to the next stage sooner, and with the slabs farms, and that might be a big deal.
Yeah, GoldenEnd will have to go for a few pikes very soon because, judging by the stable of ClassicPro, most likely ClassicPro will just drop another stable and go for knights once he reaches castle. So GoldenEnd will need some pikes very soon.
Nice snipe.
Also losing one villager is GoldenEnd.
Nice snipe, killing that one villager.
That was a beautiful snipe. I think he could even kill most of the forward here from GoldenEnd. Beautiful quick walling over there. Just one spear. That is extremely important. Just one spear there. Although that is a Viking spear, so it's gonna have a huge amount of health. And the longer this game gets, those Viking pikemen will just get better and better.
I'm just really scared of the slabs farms right now because they're about to go up to the next stage real quick.
Yeah,
and this is going to be some heavy pressure that GoldenEnd is going to have to defend from.
Yeah, that's true. So most likely, defensive towers also for Classic Pro. So eventually, GoldenEnd will most likely lose his tower sooner or later here, right next to Classic Pro's base. And when Classic Pro is up, he's gonna pop down quite a number of knights, which could try to do some damage. But I'm not exactly sure where they could strike at GoldenEnd. Possibly try to get through some of these palisade walls. That would be an option for them.
Nova asking in my chat about chieftain's infantry versus like a cavalry civilization. I think it's just going to take way too long to get a castle up and then get the chieftain's upgrade. And I think by that time, the other player should have boomed, should have a good mass of knights to take good engagements. And if the Vikings start to look, the berserks look scary, then you should be boomed enough to make some sort of transition to archers.
Yep, Classic Pro with scale barding. This is going to be a knight's build very soon. And just look at this. GoldenEnd trying to find some value for those militias, but they won't actually influence the gameplay anymore at this point, I believe.
No.
Going with the second stable is Classic Pro. Knights will pop out very soon, and he's already pressuring the base of GoldenEnd with his scouts. Looks like GoldenEnd will just second layer this one for now, but I'm not exactly sure how long he's gonna be able to hold. GoldenEnd with a push on the right, though. So this is gonna be very close for Classic Pro. I'm not exactly sure if he's gonna be able to put a second layer on it in time.
Yeah,
Okay, he should be. Yeah, he should be fine.
Should be.
Unless... Oh no.
Should be.
Hello.
Should not be.
Hello. On Classic Pro. Please.
He's taunting his opponent. He's going to do it the last second. Look. See,
This
last
is...
second. 100% sure.
Yeah.
That was almost a disaster.
Yeah, this was all... Yeah. The only thing I can imagine was taunting. I mean, there is no way that this was not intentional. Eventually, he might even lose that gate. That gate's gonna have some trouble keeping it up, I think. GoldenEnd will be behind in castle each time, and now the knights are arriving, so the knights should be able to clean up that army from GoldenEnd there, right?
Yeah, they should. Unfortunately, they'll be a little bit distracted by that army, or they should, if they want to clean it up. Looks like they're going to go aggressive first, and they won't be able to get through the walls unless GoldenEnd doesn't repair behind them. But GoldenEnd going to go into pikemen, and has an archer range as well if he wants to add some archers. He definitely needs the pikemen. And if you
I'm not exactly sure if he saw that, but eventually that palisade gate was a huge disaster for Classic Pro. Gate opened, militias chased up. I mean,
the guy.
He was taunting so hard that he just lost that.
He deserved to die.
Yeah, that was so savage. Yeah, lots of spears coming up from GoldenEnd, kind of what I expected to be double barracks. Look at the amount of spearmen inside the barracks of GoldenEnd.
Well, I think this means one thing, and if you're going to make pikemen, and you're going to defend with pikemen, and you want to transition that to go aggressive, then you have to make a big, big investment.
But yeah, these are going to be some very strong pikemen.
But I fully expect GoldenEnd to add a siege workshop after this, and
yeah,
he
needs something, so pikemen alone won't do it. But this is going to be some huge amount. Yeah, he's going to wait until pikemen hits. Those are going to be some plus from pikemen. Eventually he's going to lose his towers, but if he can grab a siege workshop, just look at the amount of pikes over here. Very weird approach, but this could work.
Well, I hope he gets a good engagement. He didn't get the squires upgrade, so they won't be able to catch the cavalry.
Yep,
there it is now.
Look at that. So many pikes from GoldenEnd.
And interesting. This is interesting. I thought GoldenEnd was going to go with the siege workshop and fully commit, but instead it's going to add 2 town centers back at home. And once those 2 town centers up, GoldenEnd won't be too far behind.
Yeah, one thing that's worth pointing out is that Classic Pro is... Classic Pro will most likely kill these villagers here from GoldenEnd sooner or later. So, still 4 gold miners there from GoldenEnd right next to his base. Either if he upgrades this tower to fletching, then he should be able to reach those villagers, or even with the knights he has, he could kill those villagers very soon. But yet again, here come the pikes. This is gonna be some huge amount of pikes, but as you said, what is he gonna do with just pikes? Meanwhile, he's sitting behind a double layer of palisade walls already. So, yet again, the house wall.
So,
The house wall over here from...
Sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah. Go on, go on.
Which player's position do you prefer?
Classic Pro. Absolutely Classic Pro. He's on free TCs as well. He's gonna have Slav farming. He's gonna have a way mobile army. So, thing is that all knights are inside. Obviously now I'm favoring Classic Pro, but yeah, the mobility of those knights will help him quite well. Beautiful quick was there from GoldenEnd eventually, but yet again,
I would be careful if you're Classic Pro. You could get trapped. And here comes the pikeman around.
Oh, this is
on 10 HP.
This is gonna be very close.
Oh, he didn't finish off the house. It's on 2 HP.
Oh, that is so sloppy. Yet again, scouts are inside on the left side as well.
Oh, he's walled. It's 125 HP.
Yeah, he needs to kill that gate. He needs to kill that gate.
80, 50, it's down, okay.
Yeah, he needs to go down. Go inside. Those are the lumberjacks.
The pikemen are following, though.
Oh boy, this is getting messy and messy. And villagers are fighting on the wood line of GoldenEnd. That's never a good sign. Once the knights arrive, that should be a number of dead villagers. Also, I hear mangonels. Yep. Mangonels coming from Classic Pro as well, taking down the remaining towers. And yeah, now GoldenEnd's eco is in a huge trouble. I think Classic Pro can even afford to lose these knights over here if he picks off a decent amount of villagers. So
yeah, I think they paid for themselves.
Monastery coming up for GoldenEnd, but it's way too late. It's gonna be way too late. Those militia still alive though.
Yeah, they're they're getting their money's worth. But all the knights will go down, so that's not too bad. It's still bad, but it could have been worse, I suppose, if you didn't kill the knights.
Yeah, I agree on that one. So still just 12 villagers behind, but he has a huge military. Most of them are full HP pikemen. And let's see what Classic Pro is gonna go for. Classic Pro investing a lot in scorpions, which is kind of obvious because he's facing a lot of those.
What the hell?
Pikes.
Look, Golden ends up to Imperial Age. What?
Oh boy!
Maybe use the market a lot, and he still has enough stone for castle. I'm confused. What? Is the Vikings eco that strong?
Well, Vikings eco is great, and if you think about that, he invested like, let's say, into 15 pikemen in feudal, but after that he had no military production in Castle Age. As compared that to Classic Pro,
that's
who went
true. The
for,
pikemen
like,
cost almost nothing. Oh man, that's crazy.
And here comes the dock. Thank you, thank you. Also, GoldenEnd is housed. Let's not forget that.
Well, he won't have to worry about that for a while once that castle gets up.
Yeah, the thing is that we're gonna see a dock. Can we see longboats? That's my question.
So both players up into the Imperial Age. This is pretty crazy. Classic Pro has a much better economy. I still prefer his position because he can upgrade Heavy Scorpion with that economy and have a very strong army with siege. But I think without the strength of the Slav siege, the Vikings should be superior. But I think it's all about that Slav siege.
Yeah, that's absolutely true. So basically, the main issue for GoldenEnd at this point is he just has pikes, nothing else. So he has no chance to get inside the base of Classic Pro at this point. And obviously, pikes are the top tier unit over here, especially if Classic Pro goes for some champions. So those champions should be able to decimate all those spikes very soon. Or, well, even Heavy Scorpions could do that, that's true. And we have longboats in the house. We have longboats in the house and they could be good. They could be good. Elite Skirm coming from Classic Pro.
I think, if anything, the longboats will be great at buying time. So I think it's a great choice of unit. I think invest as much as you can into longboats and they will pay themselves off.
Yep, that's true. And looks like Classic Pro is going to invest a lot in Elite Skirms, dropping additional archer ranges to the left side. And eventually... Oh, that was a Lost Monk. That's a little bit sloppy from Classic Pro. Lost a Monk to those longboats over there.
And yeah, it's a very interesting game. You think you prefer Elite Skirms or Heavy Scorpion?
Heavy Scorpion. Heavy Scorpion in this scenario.
I think this map has tons of gold on it, and for that reason, maybe Heavy Scorpion. You don't want Heavy Scorpions on such an open map. You can go either way, but if you're Slavs, why not go Heavy Scorpion?
Yeah, this is what I'm thinking as well. This is just a blob of pikemen. That's basically the entire army of GoldenEnd at this point. So, meanwhile, looks like ClassicPro is gonna go for the Cavalier. This could work. So if he goes for, let's say, Cavalier and Heavy Scorpions, then this would work, but still, GoldenEnd is in the choice of Elite Skirm.
And I think this is the upgrade of the game. Fortified Wall. I think that's exactly what GoldenEnd needs right now. I think he needs to delay, keep the middle, keep booming his economy.
Well, he's still 15 villagers behind,
Yeah,
so...
he's got to keep booming.
But yet again, look at this. He's not even investing anything in military, so all he has is just steal those pikemen and a few longboats, but look at the longboats destroying that stable from ClassicPro. It's definitely gonna slow down the cavalry production from ClassicPro, but yet again, oh, this is gonna be very close here. Definitely gonna be very close because those skirms will start to harass those builders over there, and eventually, I saw capped ram for someone. Was it ClassicPro?
It would have to be, I think.
Well, because he could get through these walls over here. Cap Trams coming up for ClassicPro. He should be able to get through these walls because the Scorpions and Skirms will just snipe down the villagers. Look at this. GoldenEnd just adding more and more layers of fortified walls.
And that's the perfect spot to push. It's far away from the longboats. You know, have a castle there for ClassicPro, which is great. Great option. GoldenEnd's going to have to wall behind that, and I think he should do it sooner rather than later. And he's going to have some sort of solution for this army. Probably sooner rather than later.
2 additional siege workshop going up for ClassicPro, so he's gonna actually be very committed to that siege push over there. And conscription first, most likely we're gonna see traps after that. I mean, at least 1 trap would be very helpful in this situation.
GoldenEnd still needs more time. He's 20 villagers behind. Luckily he did build a trebuchet from his own castle, and is going to start trebbing the castle of ClassicPro. Might be a mistake to go for conscription first. We'll see if GoldenEnd is able to keep his trebuchet alive. Here comes the first ram for ClassicPro.
This is going to be beautiful. This is going to be beautiful trap placement. It's just protected by all those longboats. There is nothing that ClassicPro can do with this one. He could suicide some players into that one, but that's going to cost him very badly, I think. Yeah, look at that. Look at that. He might lose a lot of cavaliers to this.
Losing a few. I think it was worth it, though.
Yeah, it was worth it. A little bit sloppy microing there by GoldenEnd, I would say. And now the skirms are inside. Just more and more layers of fortified walls. Look at this. So, thing is that, as I can see, 3 TCs for ClassicPro, 4 TCs for GoldenEnd. So indeed, he will need to get his villager numbers up. But yet again, the thing is that the difference isn't really decreasing.
Not quite yet. It's going to take some time.
Meanwhile, we're going to have a defensive castle from GoldenEnd. ClassicPro really pushing hard.
I like GoldenEnd repairing his mangonel. He can't afford the onager upgrade, so he just has to repair the hell out of these mangonels to keep these skirmishers and rams back.
Yeah, just look at the rams from ClassicPro. I would like to see ClassicPro pushing on the left side as well with some rams. I mean, there's just 1 mangonel. Yep, 1 mangonel there from GoldenEnd, so he can't actually protect on both sides. He could try to pierce through the walls here on the left. That's a lot of rams, though. Look at that ram count. Oh, he's gonna go for the longboats with rams, right?
I don't think rams are too good against longboats, to be honest.
Well, at least they're gonna be alright absorbing the arrow fire.
Maybe, but the longboats shoot multiple arrows, so that does more damage.
Yeah, that's true, but if not for that, why would you make this many rams? Yeah, he's trying to get inside the walls. Yeah, but yet again, he's losing everything, meanwhile. I mean, just look at this destruction. He has lost his castle. He is losing his skirms now.
I mean, to be honest, I'm surprised that ClassicPro hasn't won already.
What? Right now, I feel like GoldenEnd could even be in a better situation. Now just 10 villagers behind, and...
I feel like we're watching a throw.
Yeah, absolutely true. So this is why I asked about the rams. I mean, okay, you want to get through the walls, that's true, but yet again, if you lose all your military and you just have rams, that's not gonna work. That's not gonna work. I mean, look at this one. The pikes will just destroy all the rams.
Yeah. So just to be clear, I think ClassicPro should have already won this game, and yet GoldenEnd is still holding. He's still holding with pikemen, with longboats. with mangonels that he's repairing like crazy. Is he going to be able to continue to hold and make a comeback? It's only a 7 or 8 villager difference now.
Really messy game, really messy. And
I
the
think
Rams
he
are
will.
actually going... What? Rams attacking the longboats.
They don't get a bonus. You'd think they would, but they don't.
They're definitely listening to the stream, to be honest. I mean... Don't take the bad ideas.
Look at GoldenEnd's position, though. He is a fully boomed Viking player with some longboats, a good defensive position on 2 castles. That's
Yeah,
not
this
too
is...
bad.
Oh, Cavaliers on the right side, though, for ClassicPro. He could go into the eco over here. This could be a disaster for GoldenEnd, though.
That could be a disaster.
Not enough pikes. That's not enough pikes. He can actually afford to just run around and kill villagers left and right. That's exactly what he needs to do.
Someone in the chat saying Fat Slob. It's the legend of Fat Slob. Do you know Fat Slob?
Yep, I am well familiar with Fat Slob.
Fortified walls and the big defense.
Yeah, we did again. GoldenEnd losing decent amount of villagers to these Cavaliers over here. I think ClassicPro might need a stronger cavalry push from the right side, because the left side is kind of well fortified. Has a lot of scorpions, but still no heavy scorpion for ClassicPro. ClassicPro, another castle. What is it? Oh, look at this! Look at the villagers crossing the lake. If the longboats find that.
I don't
This
think
would
they
be-
will.
Yeah, I don't think either. What is that castle from ClassicPro, though?
He's just trying everything. He should have won this game, and I think he knows it. And he's just trying to put down everything, build everything that he can.
Yeah, this is the... Yeah, the only thing I can think of is to basically castle this wood line, but oh boy, GoldenEnd's gonna find it. GoldenEnd's gonna be able to find it. Still, ClassicPro has still a decent amount of Cavaliers on the right side. The only thing that is actually in the favor of ClassicPro, I think, at this point is the map control. And yeah, GoldenEnd fighting the villagers, that's not a good sign. I think ClassicPro needs to push this from the right side.
Is this castle going to get up? It's halfway
Uh,
up. We have a few pikemen coming over.
Yeah, the pikemen should be able to save the day.
I don't know. They don't do too much damage versus villagers.
Yeah, but yet again, just 3 villagers building it, and those are some very low HP villagers.
Oh, but here's
Yeah,
some walls.
the quick walls.
Not
What
done
is
yet,
this?
though. Walls are not
What
finished.
is this? Brax, yeah, if we see a transition to champions from ClassicPro, this should be his game, I believe. So, right now the only thing GoldenEnd is spamming is just pikemen. So for ClassicPro, but yet again, he's starting to trap down that castle already. So, I'm
No,
not
we have
exactly
a
sure
game
if
on our
Brax
hands. We have
will
a
go
game. This game is not going to be over anytime soon.
This is gonna be interesting.
Yeah.
Indeed, very interesting. He's gonna snap down that trap, I think. Yep, ClassicPro will snap down that trap. It's gonna be close though, because he's very low HP Cavaliers. Eventually losing those Cavaliers, but the trap is down. And let's see, Družina coming up. And Boyars!
Okay.
Boyars for ClassicPro.
That's not bad, actually.
Yeah, that's not bad, but I would actually think about going champions
Yeah,
instead.
I think
I mean,
champion's the obvious answer.
he's already building these barracks. I don't think he even has man-at-arms upgrade yet. Again, another push with those Rams. Just look at the layers of fortified walls. That is
When I think of slabs, I think of heavy scorpion and I think of champion. I don't think of elite skirmisher and cavalier.
and pikeman.
The game, yeah.
Pikeman
what I
for
think of.
ClassicPro. He's going for man-at-arms as well, but what? Why pikeman?
Because it's cheap.
Yeah, that's true. That's the only thing I can think of. That, but yet again, look at those longbows doing damage on the villagers there from ClassicPro. So they're definitely harassing those farmers now, as ClassicPro is running out of space for his farms. So yeah, the only thing I can think of is that he's going for pikes, because he's actually predicting that he's gonna run out of gold very soon. 2 relics for GoldenEnd at 0 for ClassicPro. That's also worth mentioning so far. Even though ClassicPro could actually grab basically all 3 remaining, if I can see that right.
Someone's saying pikeman to counter the longboat's 200 IQ move.
Yeah, he's going for halberdiers. Yeah, this is gonna be halberdier spam, I feel like. He's just gonna spam halberdiers in the face of GoldenEnd. This is gonna be the way to go. Probably he can't afford. But Classic Pro is sitting on 2,000 gold. So yeah, Halberdiers are cheap, but he's sitting on 2k gold. And he's facing just pikemen. So yeah, Halberdiers will be great in actually chasing down those villagers and just doing damage in the eco. And they're also quite cheap, but yet again, he's sitting on a lot of gold and just spamming Halberdiers.
Well, the thing is with the Dragina upgrade, as Project Belgium points out, my chat, those Halberdiers, they normally have 10 attack. With the Dragina attack, they can have 15 attack, 20 attack, depending on how many units they are surrounded by. So they are pretty deadly.
Yeah. In this case, that's kind of obvious. So instead of going for the champions to counter the pikemen, he's just going for mass Halberdiers. Yeah, look at the amount of Halberdiers popping out. This is the explanation. So with Dragina, they are gonna be insane if you have huge amounts of them. I mean, look at this swarm of Halberdiers.
On the other hand, GoldenEnd has punctured a hole into Classic Pro's base, and he's raiding with pikemen. This is one of the most unorthodox games I've ever seen.
Oh boy, this is gonna be glorious. This is gonna be glorious because, well, now GoldenEnd has the villager, but yet again, Halberdiers inside his eco as well. Lots of villagers could die very soon from GoldenEnd's side. Well, at least we'll have some more population space for more military units.
And it's a complete fucking mess in Classic Pro's base.
Yeah, I mean, he just built 2 mills right next to each other to the place of the TC. Like, defensive mills in action. And another defensive mill. Look at this. 15 villagers competing when they're actually being killed by pikemen. Defensive mills in action, guys.
We all joke that the Slavs farmers are the most OP, so by extension the Slavs mills must also be super OP.
GoldenEnd actually escorting his wood eco to Classic Pro's base as he's getting raided at the back of his base, so he'll just transfer his lumberjacks. Base trade going on.
What is this game? So to be serious, GoldenEnd, he's got up to the good village numbers. In fact, he's 20 villages ahead, but he doesn't have a farm eco. That's very good. He needs to rebuild his farm somewhere. And maybe that would be in Classic Pro's base.
To end its swordsman, starting to spam it inside the eco of GoldenEnd. So, yeah, GoldenEnd is gonna lose most of his base, but yet again, he's gonna escort most of his eco. Classic Pro's base, and now Classic Pro will have a crippled eco. And the thing is that Classic Pro is running out of resources, so he can't afford to spam units.
Just the position of GoldenEnd, and part of it is because he's got the longboats, but the position of GoldenEnd is so much better. He has essentially split Classic Pro's base in 2.
Yep, that's true.
But will he be able to maintain that position?
Yeah, this is hilarious. I mean, look at this. He's just farming right next to the siege workshop of Classic Pro. And oh, the towering strategy from Classic Pro, denying the wood over here from GoldenEnd's base on the left side. Eventually, GoldenEnd will lose a decent amount of viewers to these two-handed swordsmen raiding over here. And here come the Berserks. Berserks against Dragina two-handers.
The two hands definitely are going to win. That Dragina upgrade's too strong.
Yep, that's true. That two-hander can just bear so much punishment. This is very messy. But still, GoldenEnd is the villager lead.
Yeah, he has the villager lead. He needs to find some place to farm, though. That's his big problem.
Oh, look at that. The tower from Classic Pro. He's trying to just push away the villagers of GoldenEnd from his wood.
Where's the tower? Oh, it's on the south. On the left.
GoldenEnd's selling a lot of wood, so what is he going for?
Well, I don't think he's mining any gold.
GoldenEnd is mining gold on the right side with just one villager. That's all the gold income he has, I think.
This game's crazy just as far as the positions are concerned. Classic Pro's main military production is in the south, but his base is exposed in the north, and both players are getting raided heavily.
Yeah, this kind of looks like a base trade to me now. Look at this. GoldenEnd just moving his entire eco inside the base of Classic Pro.
Well, what he should do, he should take the time to delete his walls and then place farms there, and they'll be protected by the castle.
That's one possibility indeed. Oh, this is very messy. very messy. Still believe that in the long run, ClassicPro could be better in this one because, well, sooner or later we're gonna run out of resources, especially gold, so... And there, Druzhina Habardis will just decimate everything. Still, look at this, ClassicPro placing defensive towers to just push away those lumberjacks, and GoldenEnd now has a huge villager lead.
Look at these quick gates for the Treb on the left. Top left.
Yeah, 2 hunters inside GoldenEnd's base. Look at Jet TC just getting destroyed completely. And that's gonna be a lot of dead villagers there from GoldenEnd.
So both players losing tons of vills.
Yeah, this is what I refer to, like, there's gonna be a lot of more population space for military units. Yeah, this is looking like a huge mess. Eventually, I feel like GoldenEnd might be in a better situation. He's completely destroying the eco of ClassicPro.
I think his castles are a huge asset to him. I think that ClassicPro might not be able to advance past those castles, but on the other hand, ClassicPro is adding Light Cav, and I think Light Cav are going to be so valuable.
Yeah, he's just killing villagers left and right. GoldenEnd now below. Look at the dead villagers from GoldenEnd from just a few seconds. Yeah, he was like at 100 villagers.
Plummeting.
Yeah, this can be a game changer.
I think
this can definitely be a game changer.
Yeah, I think that was over. I think the addition of Light Cav is what sealed it.
It's also on the right side, so that the TC and eco of GoldenEnd on the right side will be cleaned up very, very soon. And now, just 60 villas for GoldenEnd. This is gonna be a victory for ClassicPro. Very hard fought victory if he wins this one. Definitely the best match in this series.
It's ridiculous that GoldenEnd had a chance to win this in the position that he was in. Really good play from him. ClassicPro making some mistakes as far as army composition, point to attack, some YOLO plays, but in the end, just Druzhina upgrade and Slav's
in the GoldenEnd. So yeah. And this has to be over. GoldenEnd won't be able to sustain his military numbers, and we're eventually seeing some monks from ClassicPro converting those berserks. Well, he's definitely just trying everything, just spamming out every military unit he has access to. And yeah, problem is that GoldenEnd's eco is completely done. I mean, less than 60 villagers, 30 idols. Just remaining villas are inside ClassicPro's base. And they're just getting massacred by towers, so...
Okay, to play devil's advocate, ClassicPro's eco is also so thin on the map that it could get destroyed in like 2 seconds.
That's also true, and the Pikes are doing the exact same thing also. Now, Berserk's running around, and looks like ClassicPro is gonna lose a lot of villas here very soon as well.
I think we're gonna go back to Dark Age.
Oh boy. Oh, this is gonna be very important. And 2 relics for GoldenEnd, so if all villagers die, he will still have the eco lead. This is ridiculous.
So it's absolutely gonna be 50 hills for GoldenEnd. And for ClassicPro, can ClassicPro stabilize? The problem is ClassicPro. So if ClassicPro had some castles or something to defend his base, that would be great. If he had his production with his eco in the same place, then that would be great because he could defend. Neither of those things are true. GoldenEnd still has 3 castles and can still build around them.
Yeah, that's absolutely true. And the thing is that GoldenEnd can just spam pikemen all inside the eco of ClassicPro, and this is exactly what he's doing. So he's just spending pikes left and right. Raid on the left, raid on the right side. Yet again, I feel like GoldenEnd's eco is so weak now, he won't be able to sustain his military numbers. I mean, look at that. He's basically out of everything. Well, somewhat similarly to ClassicPro. ClassicPro is still making villagers, even though he has a lot of idols.
I just feel like if GoldenEnd wanted to rebuild his economy again, it should be next to his castles, but he's really not doing that.
This is very messy. I think the siege units from GoldenEnd is definitely that's making the difference. Town center going up for GoldenEnd. So there was a lot of buildings that were protecting ClassicPro's base, although he didn't have a defensive castle, that's true. But the traps from GoldenEnd just made a quick work of that. Meanwhile, there is no traps from ClassicPro because he has a castle somewhere. Okay, he has a castle on the right side, but he's not making any traps. so he can actually take down the castles or any buildings of GoldenEnd at this point. And this is so messy. So messy. Everyone just raiding the other player. I mean, look at that, in the top of the map, one villager trying to get through the walls over here.
I'm watching that too.
I mean,
what is going on?
It's like free Hungarian. It's like Hungarian work. Free pikemen just one villager trying to take this one down. I mean, what? If pikemen just standing there watching that poor villager trying to take that
still
wall.
trying. He's getting town centers up. The new town center on the right will actually be defended by longboats, ideally. So both players are still trying to boom and try to get back in. Look at the big migration on the top left.
Top left. Yeah, on the right side, we're gonna have a TC going up for ClassicPro, but it's already being raided by some berserks. Looks like ClassicPro is trying to rebuild his eco on the right side with 2 TCs already. And ClassicPro, again, above 80 villagers. Oh, this is hilarious. But yet again, the military numbers for GoldenEnd, huge advantage for him. So even though ClassicPro has 30 villagers more, he has a lot more idols as well, and he has a way weaker military.
The boats are on the land. What is this game? The boats are on the land to the south of ClassicPro's main base.
This is hilarious. I mean, look at this. He's building his farming eco right next to ClassicPro's base.
You can't beat him, join him, then the Slavs farms are good to beat.
Yeah. Oh, this is insane. Absolutely insane. ClassicPro will try to rebomb on the right side, and he's gonna have access to a lot of gold still. So this is gonna be important for him. He's gonna have a lot of barracks. Probably he's falling back to this castle on the right. Still, he might even lose his entire base here on the north. I mean, just a huge amount of military from GoldenEnd. And just raids everywhere. Really, just pikemen running around trying to find the villager picks.
Well, as far as gold is concerned, looks like ClassicPro has a lot more access to it. GoldenEnd just finding a little bit of gold in his main base. So ClassicPro has the gold edge. He still has the villager edge, but just can't handle the raids, can't handle the longboats.
Yeah, that's the problem for him. So he definitely has a way better eco in the long run. He also has way more access to gold. So if we are gonna take a look at the achievements, I can actually do that in a second. So achievements, if I take a real quick look, way more gold for ClassicPro, going almost 20,000 gold as compared to just 12k from GoldenEnd. So he definitely has a way more gold, but he can't capitalize on that one.
Well, it looks like both players are going to kind of boom on the right sides, and they should be safe. Perhaps that will stabilize the game. We now have double the villagers for ClassicPro.
Yeah, that's true. I think that can be a game decider. I think
should be.
All he needs is just a few siege engines, I think. So he needs to take these castles down from GoldenEnd, and then he should be alright. Cleaning up the original base from GoldenEnd. And after that, it's basically just scattered villagers from GoldenEnd who he could raid, so... Yeah, look at that, raids everywhere from both players. Really... Wherever I look, it's just insane amounts of raids. On the right side, we could see halberdiers from ClassicPro. Still, those longboats are doing so much damage. I wish there were some individual unit statistics, just to see how much damage those longboats did.
I think that GoldenEnd, I think one thing he could have done to get, get better raids, I think he should have gone into Lightcap.
Yeah, that's a possibility. He still can do that.
Well, it's a little late now. He's only on 55 vills.
Well, not exactly sure if he's... Doesn't look like he's rebooming, to be honest. He's making villagers, but just only on the right-hand side TC. On his original TC now, he's starting to make vills, so he could still reboom into this one, but indeed it's true. ClassicPro has done a way better job at actually replenishing his villager numbers. So... Well, even though Classic Pro's base is a huge mess and he has a lot of idols, he now has 120 villagers again. And let's see, GoldenEnd is basically at the bare limit of his resources. I think Classic Pro just needs one good push on the eco of GoldenEnd. That's all he needs. Possibly we could get that on the right side. If he can take this TC down and kill the Wills, then that should be enough. But still, this is hilarious.
These Berserks on the top might get a good raid. If they can kill these Lightcath.
That's true as well. Basically raiding everywhere. So the first two matches were very, very fast, but after this, now we're getting some way longer matches. And this is indeed a very good raid by the Berserks. And another TC going up for Classic Pro. He really wants to get this up. And right side, we're gonna get some raids from Classic Pro as well. So eventually, GoldenEnd will be stuck with around 60 villagers for the time being. This is very massive.
It's still double for Classic Pro, even though they've both been booming. And... I don't know, man.
This is like just a huge mess. Also, guard tower upgrade for Classic Pro. I just don't know. I really don't know.
I think Classic Pro, if he just now he's got enough vills, he could eventually discontinue village production and then bank up that food for Lightcath and then raid.
Yeah, that's true. Still, he has 50 idols, so yeah, he has 100 rules, but still 50 idols for him.
Wow.
That's not the way to go. So even if technically GoldenEnd has a better eco. He has just 60 viewers, but no idols, as compared to 100 viewers and 50 idols.
That's crazy.
Also, suiciding those cap trams into the arrow and villager fire is not going to help him at all.
Oh my God.
This is so massive. Just look at the eco on the north here from Classic Pro. Basically, all villagers idle. Problem is that I think he's running out of wood and he can't actually replenish his farms.
Wait, are you serious?
Yeah, Classic Pro is at 300 wood, and just look at the idle farmers over here.
Do you think GoldenEnd would win this?
I don't know.
Oh,
I really don't know. I think all Classic Pro needs is just one or two well-placed castles. But yet again, he has no resources, so I think GoldenEnd might even have a better eco at this point.
Classic Pro cannot push any of these town centers. All the town centers are on the shoreline. It's crazy.
This is very tough to judge. And Classic Pro is still trying to play this with towers inside GoldenEnd's base. He's really trying everything.
I'm just gonna put this out there. I think that GoldenEnd is gonna win it. And I think this is gonna be the most amazing victory I've ever seen.
I am also starting to bet on GoldenEnd. He has a way more balanced eco, so yeah, he's behind the villager numbers, but he has no idols. He has some safe eco here on his original base. His right-hand side base is also quite safe because the longboats actually protect the TC and villagers from the two-handers on the right side. Meanwhile, just look at Classic Pro. He's so spread out. He has villagers everywhere, but 40 idols for minutes now. So it's not like he has idols from some time. Just looking around his base, his northern base is basically done. I mean, look at that. Villagers are standing there getting destroyed by the Berserks.
Berserks are normally not a great raider, but in this situation, they are a great raider. It's crazy.
Yeah, this is absolutely hilarious.
I think this game's coming to a close, to be honest. I think it is. I think GoldenEnd is picking up a little steam.
Absolutely true. Just 25 villagers behind now. He is replenishing his villager numbers beautifully. I think all he needs to do, is just to harass the eco on the right side from Classic Pro. So Classic Pro's left-hand side eco is just basically a mass. Just look at the amount of villagers standing idle. Wherever I look, idols.
I think that this game might highlight a little bit of the importance of momentum. So when we had the big push from Classic Pro in the early game, and then GoldenEnd doing the fat slob walls, everything said Classic Pro should win, except he couldn't gain any momentum. He couldn't bust through those walls, give a good finishing blow. For the mid part of the game, Both players taking each other out, but Classic Pro really hasn't been able to gain any momentum. And even though GoldenEnd, has been half the villagers of Classic Pro, I think just him keeping that momentum and growing it really might be a good reason why he's going to win this in the end.
That's true, and you can see that Classic Pro is really trying to do everything he can, just spamming rams and do enders, but it's not gonna work. It's not gonna work now. Problem is that his eco is basically huge, and now GoldenEnd has the villager lead, and he has way less idols. Just way less idols.
Yeah, for the first time in a long time, GoldenEnd has the villager lead. For a lot of this game, he's been at half the villagers. And this is crazy.
And
I
now,
think, again, the
Classic
positioning's so important too.
Yeah, Classic Pro is gonna lose a lot of villagers now as well here on the left side, so this gap is just gonna get larger and larger. This is GoldenEnd's game.
Oh my god.
That is absolutely extraordinary.
That's so crazy. The castle position was, I think, really helped a lot for GoldenEnd. The longboats helped a lot in keeping map control.
Yeah, these two castles are definitely game winners. This was the reason why Classic Pro couldn't just swarm him with a huge amount of Družina halberdiers. So, if you remember, that was like a bush on the right side from here when he just swarmed with halberdiers, and it was eventually cleaned up by these castles. So,
well, I think it shows some of the importance of building your military production where you're weakest, where your economy is. Because Classic Pro had his military in the south, and then he was getting raided in the north and couldn't defend from that.
Yeah, now Classic Pro falling behind in villager count. He's gonna lose additional ones very, very soon.
And this GG?
Oh boy.
That was spectacular.
This is insane.
GoldenEnd should have never won that game. But here he is.
Yeah, that definitely one of the greatest comebacks I've seen. And this will make it a 2-2 series. The only thing I'm sad about this match, to be honest, is that it is highly unlikely that we will see another one in this series like this. So sometimes when you have a great game in one of the series, after that comes some kind of mediocre ones, and it's like, well, this definitely has been the best game in the series, so there's no way that we're gonna see a better one than this.